In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to solve problem number 1 on the dimensional analysis handout that I gave you. So let's take a look at the question. It says, how many miles will a person run during a 10-kilometer race? We always have to start off with a known and unknown table, and I like to start off with what I don't know. I'm looking for miles. And what else do I know? Well, I know that there's 10 kilometers that I'm looking at. I'm going to have to use the conversion factors up in the table above to figure out the rest of the stuff that I know. I know that there's 1 mile for every 5,280 feet. I know that there's 1 meter in every 3.3 feet. And I also know that there's 1,000 meters per kilometer. So I'm going to write down what I don't know in my unknown table. And I'm going to write down all of those other things that I do know over here. So there's 10,000 kilometers. There's 1,000 meters per 1 kilometer. There's 3.3 feet per meter. And there's also 5,280 feet per mile. Okay, so what do we do next? Well, I'm looking for miles. And so I come over to my known side and I look for that unit. I see it on the very bottom. And since the mile is on the bottom of my known area, I've got to flip this fraction so that mile's on top. That means 5,280 feet will be on the bottom. Let me write that out. That's my first fraction. So 1 mile per 5,280 feet. Now what I need to do is I need to cancel out every other unit, including this feet unit, until I'm left with miles. So now I'm going to come back over to my known side and I'm going to look for feet. I need to cancel out 5,280 feet, and I can do that with 3.3 feet per meter. I don't have to flip this fraction because feet is already in the top. Feet over feet cancels. Now I've got to cancel out this meter, and luckily I have another conversion factor here, another fraction that has meters in it. So I'm going to not flip this one because meter over meter cancels. Now I have to cancel out the kilometer. I can do that with the length of the race, 10 kilometers. All right, so let's take a look now what I'm going to do. I'm going to cross out my units. Feet over feet cancels. Meter over meter cancels. Kilometer over kilometer cancels. All I'm left with is miles, which is what I want to end in. That's good. Okay, so order of operations says that we have to multiply across before we divide. I'm looking at this 3.3 times 1,000 times 10 is 33,000. I can't, and then 5,280 feet times 1 times 1 times 1 is 5,280 feet. So I want to write that out again. This is an extra little step here. 33,000 miles over 5,280. Now we work from the top down, right? This is now a division problem. We type the 33,000 into the calculator first, divide sign 5,280, and it's equal to 6.25 miles. I want to make sure that we put all of these answers to the nearest tenth, and so to do that we look at the number next to the number in the tenth. If it's 5 or more, we add a place value to the tenth. So this is really going to be 6.3 miles. That's how you do the problem. This is probably one of the hardest one, question number 1. Go through. If you're having some hard times, ask me questions. I'll be more than happy to help you.